Hello adventurers, we are going to be talking about my gear today. I've gotten a lot of questions about the things that I use when I go backpacking and what I bring with me. So today we're going to go over all of it. Alright adventurers, so I have all my stuff here laid out on the table. We're going to go through it one by one, and we're going to start with the big three, which is backpack, sleep system, and shelter. So, starting with the backpack, I use a Z-Packs Arc Blast. It's a 55-liter backpack. I don't remember how much it originally weighs, but I have added, it was about a pound, or maybe a little bit over a pound. I've added two belt pouches and a shoulder pouch, and then altogether with those it weighs 23 ounces or 1 pound, 1.44 pounds. I have also added here a little keychain thermometer, digital thermometer. It is 77 degrees right now, and a little aluminum whistle. The arc here is called an arc blast because it has this arc here, so it lets airflow go through your back, which is really nice. When you have a backpack that's just flat up against your back and you don't get any air in there, it gets hot. But this backpack is extremely comfortable. It has all the adjustments, the load lifters. It is just one big pouch, and then it has this two side pouches for the water bottles and the front netting pouch. It is made out of Dyneema composite, so it is waterproof. But yeah, so that is the Z-Packs Arc Blast, and that'll run you about $375. After I go over everything here, I'm gonna show you how I pack all of this into the backpack. Alright, next up is my sleep system. I bought this sleep system at the beginning of last year, in the spring, and it's been amazing. My sleeping pad I got is the Thermarest Neo Air X-Therm. The insulation rating is called an R value, and the R value on this one is 6.7, which is one of the highest on the market for a lightweight sleeping pad. It cost me $259.95, and it weighs about 20 ounces. So it's very light, it's very warm, it's very noisy. You can hear it while you're sleeping on it. It sounds like you're sleeping on a bed of tissue paper. So that's kind of annoying. I would like to get a quieter sleeping pad maybe for the summer. I don't know. My sleeping bag and my pillow I put inside of a 20-liter Sea to Summit Ultra Sil dry sack. These are also amazing. They keep everything dry. I did say the backpack was pretty much waterproof, but you don't want your sleeping bag to get wet. So you'll notice pretty much everything I have is in one of these Ultra Sil dry bags. They cost about $30 and they weigh 1.8 ounces. They're extremely light. My sleeping bag, the Thermarest Hyperion 20, which means it's a 20-degree sleeping bag. So I have slept, my video in the Hercules Glade Wilderness, it got down to 18 degrees that night. So I did have a liner with it. Thermarest Hyperion 20, it cost me $439.95, and it weighs 19 ounces. So it's extremely light. Later when I pack it in my backpack, I'll show you how small it gets, but it compacts. It's a down sleeping bag. It compacts down into about the size of a water bottle. Extremely lightweight, extremely packable. Amazing. It is extremely comfortable. Yeah, so that's my sleeping bag. I love it. And then my pillow is a Sea to Summit Eros pillow. I think it's the large. I think there was different sizes, and this is the large. There's an extra large, but this is great for me. It's an inflatable pillow, and it's got a little bit of padding here on the top part, which really helps make it feel like you're not sleeping on a balloon. All right, so that's all of my sleep system, and all together, that all weighs 2.8 pounds. Next, we'll move on to my shelter. By the way, all of this information that I'm giving you now, there's a website called Lighter Pack, and it's a free website. You can go make an account, and you can list all of your backpacking gear, their weights and everything, and it keeps track of all the weights. It puts them in categories for you and everything. I actually have a link in the description below. You can go check that out at any time. Has the price of all the gear, the weights, descriptions, pictures. Yeah, so go check that out. Anyway, my shelter. It's an REI Passage 2 tent. So it's a 2-person tent. It cost me $159, and it weighs 90.3 ounces, which is 5.64 pounds. It is by far the heaviest piece of gear that I have. It's trusty, it's super durable. I've really taken care of it. I've had to waterproof it once, about 2 years ago, I think, 2-3 years ago. It started dripping on me during a rainstorm, and so I had to just spray some new waterproofing stuff on it, and so it's lasted 3 more years after that. But it has 4 pockets in all the corners. I'm not sure if I mentioned, it is a 2-person tent, so I like to have enough room for my bag to come in the tent with me. Anyway, yeah, I love my tent, and that's why I've had it for 11 years, because I love it so much. It's freestanding. I can set it up anywhere. I can move it after I've set it up. I can tip it upside down to shake out all the dirt. The only thing was it came with very heavy steel stakes, so I got some mini groundhogs, so that took a bit of weight off because it was heavier. And then it comes with 2 aluminum poles, but it's a very sturdy, very reliable, very durable tent. I would highly recommend it to anyone. I think they even have a new version out, which is a little bit lighter and even cheaper, I think. So yeah, that's my shelter. So that does it for the big 3. Next is my spare clothes. I used to bring an entire change of clothes, but I've kind of whittled it down to just an extra t-shirt and an extra pair of regular socks. And regular socks, they weigh 2 ounces. The shirt weighs 5.5 ounces, and it was $60. It's an REI Sierra t-shirt. It's quick drying, antibacterial, has bug repellent in it, all that good stuff. I like to have one because, you know, when you get back to camp, you want to put on a nice, at least a dry t-shirt to feel more comfortable. So you always have like a clean camp shirt, I guess. And those also go in an 8-liter Sea to Summit Ultra Seal dry bag. All right, next we move on to my kitchen. My cook pot here doesn't have any kind of marking or anything on it whatsoever. I believe I received it as a gift. I'm not sure. I apologize, it's still dirty. My stove is just a regular, it's not a pocket rocket, but it's the same, you know, your basic stove design. It's a Snow Peak. It weighs 3.5 ounces, and it cost me $50. It has an ignition thing on it, but it hardly ever works anymore. I have a 1/2 cup measuring cup. It's a little pop-out one, cut off the handle so it fits in the pot better. A spoon. I remember where I got it, Permaware, but it's like indestructible, won't melt, all that good stuff. And then just one of these fuel canisters. The fuel canisters weigh 3.5 ounces. They cost about $5. All of that fits into the pot together. and that's my whole cook set. I don't use a plate or anything. I usually just eat right out of the pot. Altogether, that weighs 0.96 pounds, so just under a pound. Okay, next on the list is just some various tools, I would call them. We'll start with my flashlight. I know nowadays among backpackers it's kind of uncommon to see a flashlight, but never really liked headlamps. So I wanted to stick with a flashlight. I did a lot of research and I found this one. It's a Fenix PD35 Tactical. It's that 1000 lumens flashlight. It's virtually indestructible, waterproof. It has 5 different brightness settings. It's got a strobe, it's got SOS. The only thing I wish it had was infrared. It is a lithium ion battery that's rechargeable. I can't remember how long it lasts, but it lasts like a long time. Anyway, I love this thing. It'll drown out anyone else's flashlight. It completely lights up a forest at night. It's wonderful. It's kind of light. It's 4.6 ounces. That's why it has the lithium battery, because the battery is the heaviest part of it. It did cost a good $89.95 though, so it wasn't without a cost, but it's pretty nice to have. Let's see, we'll go with water filtration next. If you backpack nowadays, I'm pretty sure you know what a Sawyer squeeze is. This is just a little filter. It comes with a bag that you can fill with dirty water. It screws directly onto here, and then you just squeeze the bag and just pushes the water through and you get clean water. It's extremely fast, easy. I use these smart water bottles for my water bottles. I usually bring 2 of them. One reason for that is they're extremely durable. The threads on them match up with this, so you can screw this directly onto here. So they're all interchangeable. The caps are all interchangeable. The Sawyer squeeze was $38.95. It weighs 4.2 ounces. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I weighed that with the bag and the syringe. The syringe is to back flush it and to get clogs out if it ever clogs. But I've never really had a problem with mine. It is the most reliable water filter I have ever purchased. These are amazing. For those certain dreaded times when it starts raining, rain gear. I have one thing. It is the Sea to Summit Ultrasil Nano Tarp Poncho. It is extremely compact, as you can see. It's extremely light. It is 8 ounces. It costs $109.95. It doubles as a tarp. It's a square tarp. It also has extra room under it for your backpack. It has a little cinch, so you can cinch it up around behind your backpack. It has a hood. It has a little rain drip thing on the hood. It kind of holds the heat in when you're hiking, so you know, I kind of hesitate to put that on a lot of times, which is usually a mistake. But yeah, that's the rain gear. Another thing, I guess, to keep you dry, I picked up one of these REI multi-towel minis. It's a quick drying, super absorbent towel. It's just like washcloth size. I believe it is antibacterial and all of that good quick drying and stuff. And I have 2 of them. I keep one with my day pack and I keep one with my backpack. REI multi-towel mini. It's $8.95. It costs $8.95 and it's 0.8 ounces. My sit pad, it's a reclaimed closed cell foam pad. It was $19.99 and it was 5.5 ounces. Very light, so much lighter than the chair, more than half its weight, and extremely useful, very comfortable to sit on. The only problem is I find in the summertime I don't really use it. So that's the zip pad. It actually has an extra feature I'll show you later when we pack it in the pack. Next one is my personal tracker beacon. It is Garmin InReach Mini 2. I ended up picking this up because I had a couple of scary calls where, you know, I think I overdid it a little too much. And I wasn't feeling well. I think I got a little heat stroke and I needed help. And I had no service. So I picked up one of these just for a little more peace of mind for me and my wife. I can text anyone, get the weather reports, track my movements, look at maps. It cost me $400. There's also, after the $400 is just purchasing the unit. You need to set up service. It only weighs 3.5 ounces. Yeah, so it's good for peace of mind. It's got the SOS button. So that's the Garmin InReach Mini 2. Next, we're gonna go over my electronics bag. I guess what I call it. It is a 2-liter Ultrasil Nano dry bag again. These ones weigh 0.8 ounces and it was $17.95. Inside I have a power bank. I can charge my phone about 5 or 6 times. It does have a fast charger and then 2 other regular USB ports. The charging ports, you can have a USB, mini USB, or USB-C. So you get the option there. That was $40 and it weighs 15.5 ounces, so almost a pound. I have 2 USB-C cords, one to charge my phone, one to charge GoPro batteries. And then I have a little dual battery charger for the GoPros. And I carry 5 batteries in total, 1 in the camera, 4 extras. Yeah, so that's my electronics bag. Sometimes I have a cheap little pair of earbuds. Sometimes I bring them, but I rarely do because I never use them. So next up, same bag. This one's the emergency bag. So this one's got everything I am gonna need in an emergency. Or safety, I guess. Sunscreen lotion. Comb, I guess that's not really an emergency, but I have a spare lighter in there. A little jar of Advil. I think there's some Excedrin mixed in there. Handful of Band-Aids. Benadryl. A little single packet of Benadryl. Never been allergic to anything, but you never know when you're gonna need something. I have a little compact. It's just like a Conair compact for a mirror. It has a magnifying one and a regular one. It's a nice little lightweight thing. I have a pen cap wrapped in Leukotape. So I have a bunch of Leukotape, a couple butterfly closures, and a few safety pins. That is my little emergency kit. Next up, the duty bag. So this is a 1 liter Sea to Summit. It's not the Ultrasil dry bag, it's just the regular dry bag. It's just filled with toilet paper. It's got about a roll of toilet, maybe a half a roll of toilet paper. I took it off the cardboard tube and stuffed it in there. And a trowel. It's called the Deuce number 2. Weighs a ½ ounce. It's like a titanium scoop. Extremely lightweight. You gotta dig your cat hole. You gotta go, you gotta go. My food bag. So, for years I hung my bag, and then I heard about this thing called the sack. It's a big bear-proof bag. It's Kevlar, I think, or something like that. I can't remember, but it's bear-proof. They can't rip it or tear it. So no longer do I ever have to hang my food. I can just put my food in this bag and tie it to a tree. Just make sure I tie it nice and tight, and then they can do whatever they want to. They can crush it, but they'll never get it. The earth sack is not waterproof, so I did put it in my food in an ultra-seal dry bag as well to keep the food dry. The earth sack cost about $165 for the large one, and it weighs 6.7 ounces. Really, the last thing is my garbage bag. I've shown this before. It's just a 4-liter ultra-seal nano dry bag. The last few items are really optional. I don't always bring them. Sunglasses. I have been recently carrying them with me. I don't know. Thought about not bringing those anymore, but I still do. The things that I don't really bring with me anymore, saw. So like I said, I don't really have fires when I go by myself, so I don't really have a need for this. I did bring it on the snowbank trail because I thought I might have a fire out there, but I actually did use it quite a bit to clear the trail. I came across quite a few trees that I cleared away with my saw. The very last thing is my sun hat. So I wore this when I went to the Badlands. I bring it when I think it's going to be exposed. I should have worn it when I went to Mount Albert, but I did not. Alright, now it's time to pack all this up in the pack. How do I get it all in there? So, my idea is basically pack it in the opposite way I'm going to unpack it. So we start with the sleep system. Remember I said how compact it gets? That goes all the way down at the bottom. Sleeping pad, and go right next to it. And then alongside of that, my clothes bag, my extra shirt, and my socks. And then that, I don't know if you can see this, but that fills out the bottom of the bag. Next is going to be my shelter. Now remember I said in reverse order. So we're going to do the rain fly first, the tent body, and then the footprint. So then when I open my bag and I go to set up my tent, I take out the footprint, I set that up, I take out the main tent, I set that up, and then I take out the rain fly and put that on top. So then that gives me a nice flat bottom to work with. On top of that, I normally take my food, because that's going to be one of the bulkiest and heaviest items. You want to keep that down in the middle of the pack towards your back. And then also the kitchen. Take that, line that up there, so then it kind of just sits in there like that. But the food bag might be a lot fuller if you're going on a big trip. So, and then my electronics and the emergency bag. The last things that I put in the bag, you know, like the sun hat, we'll just throw right on top, because then if I'm hiking and I want to pull it out really quick, it's just right there on the top. Throws together, rolls up, 2 clips, and then the strap that goes over. There we go. We got the tent poles. I take those and they go on the side of the backpack, right on these straps. And they'll fall into the pocket down there. Shoulder pouch. Keep my shady rays. My phone goes in this pouch. The Garmin hooks onto the shoulder pouch here. The tent stakes. They're gonna go in this front pouch now, all the way down in the corner. The poncho. I want to be able to access that as soon as I can if it starts raining, as well as the duty bag. Garbage bag. Those are on the outside. I don't want garbage on the inside of my pack. And the water filter as well, so that if I stop at I walk by a stream or something, I can just pull it out and filter water. Flashlight I usually put in the this clip on here is extremely strong, so I feel comfortable putting it on here. And then if I take this with me, I'd put it in the pocket there. Alright, the last thing is the sit pad. I always just put that right here on the bottom. And I said I kind of had a added feature later on. One thing people complained about with the Z-Packs backpack is they don't stand up on their own. But if you put the sit pad right there, they do. So that is how I pack my pack, everyone. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot my mini towel. That also goes in this pocket with my sunglasses. The shoulder pouch, or the belt straps, are solely for snacks. And there's an extension to my tripod that I also keep in my belt pouch. And the camera itself and the tripod, I usually just hang right off. It can just hang right off a loop here on my belt pouch. Water bottle on either side. Alright, and there we have it, folks. Thanks for coming along on this informative journey. And I hope to see you next week on Happy Trail Backpacking.